This is the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish, founder of Abish Financial Services.
We see a lot of successful do-it-yourself investors, but there's a major difference between pedal to the metal, getting up that retirement mountain, and then descending down the mountain safely into retirement.
You've worked hard your whole life to earn and save. Now you need a plan to make that money work hard for you.
Hang in there, and the markets will come back, and we're in the same boat as you. Is not comforting for someone who is 58, 65, 72, and there have got to be better ways to do things, and there are.
Abe is here to help you unlock the keys to your retirement.
Abe, how are you today?
I am doing fantastic, Heather.
It is the most wonderful time of year, in my opinion. I love springtime and getting into summer.
Baseball season's getting warmer out. Yes. The days are longer.
Yes.
You know,
that's my
barbecue
favorite
season.
Thing is that it's not like pitch black by 5 o'clock.
It's so nice. It's so nice to have light out until
because you feel like you can do stuff at the end of the day. You get home
exactly right.
and you're like, oh, let's go. I'll go out and do something in the yard. The day is not completely lost by 5:30.
Exactly right.
Outside. But thinking about the work that you're doing, because, well, gosh, I mean, if you have time at the end of the day, you guys are adding teammates, you're expanding your offices, you are growing, and you're busy because there are a lot of folks that are needing your help. You're just trying to make room for everybody.
Absolutely.
And getting to work on that, the idea of what you do in your office every single day, it's so fascinating to me. I'm sure it's one of the most fascinating things for you is the people that you meet day in, day out. These people that have worked so hard, earning, saving, being disciplined, not being frivolous with their money. And then they come to you and they want you to help them figure it out into a plan so that they know how to manage that money moving forward after they leave the 9-to-5 behind. But here's the real twist in all of this. Financial advisor Mark Berg was talking to Morningstar.com about how so many people still have this tendency to not want to spend their money. They have this fear of spending. Here's what he was saying.
We're typically more encouraging spending than discouraging spending, meaning they're living so within their means that their withdrawal rate is 1 or 2 or 3%. And especially as they're aging into their 70s and 80s, you know, their spending levels actually, their draw rate typically is actually leveling out, if not declining. And so we feel that 3 to 4-ish% range in the younger end of retirement with some exceptions. And then, you know, it creeps up over time has worked well.
So he's kind of saying exactly the thing that you have experienced many times over in your office. And I think that it's kind of funny. What's that song? You can take this job and shove it. And I'm sure a lot of retirees have felt that about leaving their employment band. Take this job and shove it. And now they'd come to you and you look at them and you're saying, take your money and spend it. You actually have to shake this fear out of them sometimes, don't you?
Yes. You know why I think so many people are fearful, Heather? It's because the majority of our industry, unfortunately, just preaches growth and rate of return and what you're earning on your investments. If you just take a second to think about the biggest firms in our industry, the biggest investment advisors and biggest investment firms in our industry, you know, you're going to think about firms that typically emphasize growth and growing your money and rate of return and making a lot of money on your investments. There is nothing wrong with that. But then our clients come to us, Heather, as you know, with typically $1 million to $3 million, and they're knocking on the doorsteps of retirement with enough money saved. And they're saying, you know, I'm with this big box firm, or Abe, I've done this on my own. It's taken me 40 years to get here. But I now have $2 million and I have no idea what the heck to do from here on out. There's no instruction manual to create income in retirement. There's very little material and education and instruction out there on how to create a phase 2 income and distribution focused plan. So if you're like any of our other listeners and clients that come in, that, you know, you have enough money saved, you worked your entire life to get here, more than likely you don't have all the information and enough knowledge to be really successful creating your own income and distribution plan, because there's so much involved instead of just choosing the right investment choices. So we just recently had a client come in, a listener come in from WMAL and then become clients because they are much like many of our other clients. They live in Alexandria, Virginia. They do have $2 million saved themselves and they're in their late 60s. They just retired. And they're saying, you know what, man, we've done a good job and we have a few $1 million, but we have no idea when to take Social Security and which accounts to tap into and how much to take out of each account per year and things like this. And they needed a phase 2 plan. They needed a plan that was different than that pedal to the metal growth and accumulation focused plan they had in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. So the problems that we encountered as we went over their entire plan with them, Heather, is that they just had a big bucket of money, and $2 million is a nice chunk of change, but there was just no transition plan, no income plan, no spend down plan, no plan to enjoy the last 40 years of their work. They were stuck, just like most people are. It's because the education isn't out there. The information isn't out there in large degree to help somebody transition and then turn their big bucket of money and accumulation plan into an income plan. And like Mark was saying, most advisors out there in our industry don't want clients taking monies out of their accounts because their fee will go down if the client takes money out of the account. So they're always encouraging clients to keep money in the accounts. And that's the opposite of how we work at our firm. We are an income and distribution focused firm, a phase 2 firm that almost exclusively works with people 55 to 75 that are transitioning into full retirement or already there. So the solution for them, Heather, was to create a spend down plan focused on income and distributions. This is a roadmap, right? Where are you headed? How can we get this income out? How can we create reliable, dependable income that can sit on top of your Social Security checks, that can come into that bank account every month like clockwork, so you can stand tall and be confident and retire with dignity and do everything you want to do in retirement without worrying about what the markets are going to do this week. Because we all know the markets are going to be up and down for the rest of our lives. And we don't want our retirement lives dictated by what the markets are doing.
All right, Abe, thinking about having enough money to when do we get to our retirement phase is one part of it. The other part of it is just knowing when you're going to retire. And there is a lot of, I think, various ideas about what age it is you think you'll retire. Actor and comedian Wanda Sykes, she seems pretty down to earth about all this. She's only 59. She was recently talking on the Sherry Shepherd show about her idea of when she'll retire.
Your wife, Alex, has been asking you about retirement.
Yeah.
Are you planning on doing it?
No, I keep telling her, she's French, and the Europeans, all they do is talk about retirement. That's all she does, talk about retirement. So she's like, when are we going to retire, babe? I'm like, I don't retire. They show us the door, right?
That's right.
They don't, when the phone stops ringing, you go, well, I guess I'm retired right
That's
now.
what I'm talking about.
But then when you get like 80, the phone can start ringing again, right?
She brings up some interesting points of view. One, I love her American capitalistic perspective. She's like, you French, you don't even know. We're in America. We work until forever and ever, if that's what you want. And I think that perhaps that's the biggest takeaway here, because I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, Abe. They don't necessarily want to retire. Maybe they are thinking about future opportunities, but part of your process is to show people when they can retire. And so if the answer is now, how many do you see continuing to work, then leaving on their own terms? I mean, there's a lot of psychology involved in this.
All the time, Heather. So, what you just asked is, how many people will come in just to see if they're going to be okay? And all the time, people will come in. And that's the main thing people want to know. Sure. Even people that have $5+ million, Heather, it's like, they don't have extreme confidence. They're not 100% confident that they have a bulletproof retirement plan. So that's one thing that I've noticed in my career is that even with people that have a lot of money, still want to come in and make sure they have all their I's dotted and T's crossed. Sure. And so we just had a gentleman call in and then come into the office and become a client. He lives on the Eastern Shore, out there in the Waldorf, Maryland area. And his biggest question was, when can I retire? Can I retire, Abe and the team? He's 72 and 1.5 million saved, still working, a business owner, and doesn't want to retire, but wants to know that he could retire if he needed to.
Okay.
So he's one of these guys that will probably work. I'm guessing this guy will work probably until 80, not because he has to. He's just full of energy. Yeah. He's 72 going on 62.
I get it.
And he loves what he does. He's running his own business, and he's like, I'm going to keep working until someone tells me that I have to stop. Mm-hmm. And so he told me I'm not going to retire unless I'm not having any more fun. Right? So good for him being in a line of work that he enjoys. Well, close to $2 million saved, 7 on our risk scale, and wanted to hire us so he doesn't have to think about what's going on in the market, so he can continue to run his business successfully and make sure his wife is taken care of. As we went through his entire plan, what we found out was, and his biggest concern was, that they didn't have anyone to work with, right? No professional to basically help them consolidate the accounts, manage the monies, the insurances, and really put together a comprehensive plan that's going to give him added peace of mind. His investments were everywhere. They needed account consolidation, wanted to make sure his wife was taken care of, and he was a business owner that was extremely busy. Mm-hmm. So the solution for him and his family, Heather, was to create a comprehensive plan. All of the investments were in the market. He's got RMDs due next year.
Yeah.
Concerned with a probable recession. He wanted to implement the right plan for this next phase of his life. He wanted to put safety valves in all over his plan with this upcoming and potential recession. So if you're listening right now and you have investments all over the place, maybe you need some consolidation, you want to take care of your spouse if something happens to you, and perhaps you're the sole person that is managing all of the family's investments, and you want to make sure your spouse and family is taken care of, we want to offer you the same thing we did to this gentleman on the Eastern Shore of Maryland, which was a portfolio x-ray along with a comprehensive retirement plan. Just head to retirementkeyradio.com, click on the Contact Us tab at the top of the page, and we can begin to have the same conversation with you as well.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Key Podcast with Abe Abish. To learn more about Abish Financial Services, visit retirementkeyradio.com. And join Abe for his radio show, The Retirement Key, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. and Sundays at 2 p.m. on WMAL.
Investment advisory services offered through Abish Financial Wealth Management, LLC, number 310633, a registered investment advisor firm. Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Abraham Abish is licensed in your state, please call 571-577-9968. Abish Financial Services is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Abish Financial Services, Inc., Virginia Insurance License number 127820.